Well, hey there, it's Alka, and welcome to another episode of the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm Alka Clark, and welcome to this episode where I am going to talk about the fact that it's a new year, and you are definitely in the right place because you're probably here because you're looking for the online business that's going to work for you in 2022. Right? You've Googled online and you've searched and you've tried to figure out what's the best online business for 2022 that you could start up. And if you're watching us or listening, because it's on YouTube and on your favorite podcast platform, then you might have, came across this because you're one of our listeners already. Please stay with this because it's not just for people who are new. It could also be a reinvigoration of what you consider the Zazzle platform to be for you and how you can move forward and use this podcast episode as a way to define what your business should look like and what it would be like for you when it was a perfect business, right? So we're going to help you not just say, hey, one platform is better than the other. That's not the purpose of this. It's more deciding what your proper decision is in terms of what works for you, right? And the key here is that that's going to be in this episode as well. So today I'm going to talk about what's the best online business to start in 2022, but I'm going to go deeper and I'm going to say not only am I going to present you with the Zazzle platform as a way for you to have the best choice and also the best opportunity to make it a go and get somewhere and be successful on the platform, even though I can't make any income claim statements, but then I'm also going to help you define what it is that you're looking for in an online business, and then you can use those measures as a way to test out all the other things that you've come across, and so that you can weigh the pros and cons, right? And that's something you have to do on your own. And then I'm going to give you some next steps. And yes, I will be explaining a little bit more about what programs we offer and how you can work with us, or you can work on your own, obviously. And either way is a great way. But if you want to work with us, I want to explain because we've made a lot of changes in 2021 and all to serve you better. And so therefore, I want to make sure that you're very clear as to where you can go next if you're brand new and want to start and get going right away. Okay, so let's dive right in. Okay, so why do Jennifer and I, my daughter Jen, obviously she works on the Zazzle platform as well and helps with our coaching program and so on. And so why would we recommend Zazzle? Well, I want to break it down into costs, and then growth potential in terms of earnings, and also time and location freedom. So let's start with minimal costs and avoiding headaches, actually, even. And so the first thing is that it's very low cost to get started. And I'm going to look at my notes because I actually recorded this episode. This is the second recording. The first one I went way too long because I'm just so passionate about Zazzle. I got to rein myself in. Okay, so it's the cost that you have to lay out to start your business is so low. And I love that about it because it's not something where you have to invest thousands of dollars unless you have to buy a computer. You have to have the computer and you have to have an internet connection, but that's it. And then after that, it's very low cost. And I just want to keep going into some of the reasons why it's low cost. Okay, so low cost meaning that you could either upload graphics that you found that are commercial free online. If they're, out of their copyright limitations, you can also create your own graphics, not only on the platform and using the Zazzle design tool, but you can also create them like painting and drawing and Photoshop and physical products, like anything that you've created that would then be either a scanned or a photo taken of it and uploaded to create the design on the products that Zazzle sells, which you're going to be selling, right? So in that regard, but even if you don't want to do any of those, you can just use the design tool and use whatever they have on the design tool on the Zazzle marketplace, or so on the Zazzle platform, with their shapes and their fonts that they have. You can make incredible designs without any extra cost on your part except for your time to create those designs. And then for anyone who's on Etsy or I have a Shopify store or Amazon merch where you have to physically create products or source them, and then also do the packing and shipping and weigh bills and taxes, sales tax, and anything that has to do with material costs or packaging costs or shipping costs or ads to drive traffic. You don't need that on the Zazzle marketplace and the Zazzle platform, because Zazzle does that all for you. And that's why they get a certain commission as part of, like, they get to keep a certain amount of the sale, and then we get the royalty from that, what way we set the royalty. And you can set it anywhere from 5 to 99%, but obviously if you set it higher than maybe 10 to 15%, then that will, it will always affect the cost of the actual product. And so that's what we recommend. But even if you get 10%, which is what I've been working off of for 14 years, you can make quite a lot of money, because I've already made 1.5, well, together with Jen, the two of us, I keep saying 1.5 and don't clarify that. The two of us together, when we combined our total earnings, we've made 1.5 million, and it's continuing on, obviously. So that's not a bad chunk of change, right? And so what else do I have here? No quotas to be met to be able to continue to be a seller. No listing fees, which is what happens on Etsy, right? And the quotas is something that happens on Amazon. And no need to build and maintain and drive traffic to your own external website to make the sales in the first place, right? Like, so Shopify and Etsy and anything where you have to drive traffic through organic or paid means is something you don't have to have initially with the Zazzle marketplace to sell. You can sell right on their Zazzle marketplace, and it's only afterwards, when you've got your business established, that you can branch out into creating a website which can further scale your Zazzle income using referrals. And we have incredible strategies for you in the Profit by Design Academy, which is our coaching program that help you understand how to do that effectively. Okay, so then the second point that I mentioned in terms of underneath why we like Zazzle is the unlimited earning potential, which is going to give you monthly passive cash flow. I don't know what to say first, because I love the cash flow, and I love that it's passive and it gets paid out monthly. And I already mentioned what we make, but I also want to mention that since we started training and coaching and teaching our clients on how to do this on Zazzle, then we have helped them make $2.2 million combined, not each individually, combined. But we've only been on doing this coaching and teaching. This is our 4th year. And so we're really proud and super excited for all of our coaching clients that have done so well, because it's not easy work. This is a long-term passive income opportunity that's not a get-rich-quick scheme. So the fact that they're already at 2.2 million combined from the people that we do know who's made money, this is not everybody in our course, it's and our coaching program, it's just the people who've expressed what they told us what they've earned. So it's more than that for sure. But I think that's already so much fun, because our combined coaching clientele has made more money than Jen and I have made in 14 years. They've made it in 4, which is so good. Okay. And so imagine a 5 or 6 figure income where people on the Zazzle platform are earning that right now. So whether you are not earning it, if you're on the Zazzle platform, or if you're starting out, don't believe the people that say you can't make more than a couple of dollars a month on the Zazzle platform and that they're happy to get a payout every 2nd or 3rd month of the year. No, people in our training who do the work, who are implementing what we teach, and who are consistently bettering themselves to get those results, are getting results to the point where some people are making $5,000 to $10,000 a month. And so that's what we want you to understand, is that if someone makes somewhere between 5 to 6 figures, that means that they have to make at least $5,000 to $10,000 a month, right, in order to get that kind of yearly income. And so it happens. if it's not you yet, then you have to find out how it's going to work for you and how you're going to make that happen. And so I'm really just letting you know that if you've always thought Zazzle wasn't worth your while and that you needed to try a different platform that has more users coming to the site or whatever, the unique and exclusivity of the customization platform, which is something that Zazzle has that no other platform has, allows us to really generate a lot of sales that normally wouldn't happen on any of the other platforms, and makes up for the lower volume of monthly visitors, because when they come, they're very targeted and specific, and there's a lot of potential to make big sales. Some of our clients have just recently posted where they've, with the referrals as well, which is what I talked about, where you're bringing in traffic through websites and Pinterest and so on. You can not just have a 10% royalty, you can also have like a 35% additional referral income. So at some point, you can start making like 45% of the total of the sale. And because of that, people in our clientele are making things like $600 to $700 off of one sale from one customer as their royalty and commission, referral income combined, which is wonderful. And that's all because of what we teach as to how to make the designs, what type of designs to make that could generate that volume, and so on. And so if that's something that you didn't think of when you were first considering Zazzle and saw online, oh my gosh, you can't make very much money on Zazzle, I give up, all that stuff, please hear these stories and these examples. And I don't know if I've mentioned Brandon now or not, because I did this the second time, but some of our top clients are now making $100,000 a year rather than just lifetime earnings. And so within a very short time period, 3 to 4 years, they have built up their business to the point where it's working very well for them, and they're starting to hit those 6-figure mark per year, not just lifetime earnings. And that's really nice for someone who cannot work more than 20 hours a month because they have a full-time job and that their Zazzle is their side hustle. So if I've just piqued your interest, then please keep checking us out. Go check out some of the other podcasts. There's so many that can lead you. And maybe what I'll do is I'll put some links to Christine and Brandon's podcasts in here. But they're just going so crazy with their earnings that I can't keep up. The podcasts that we did with them were in the spring. And now that it's the end of 2021. I'm recording this in December, and you'll be hearing us second week in January. But I already know that our top clients have now reached, again, even higher earnings levels compared to what I reported, because I don't like reporting unless I know for sure that those are the numbers. And so I'm super excited for that. And as I said, just know that it's really important that it's possible and that the income that you can make could be unlimited. So whatever you want, you can start to move towards that, but I can't make any income claim statements. All right, time and location freedom. Yeah, sure. Other online businesses are going to give you that because they're online, and you don't have to be in a certain spot. But what I also want is that let's define time a little bit more. As I mentioned already, some of our top students like Christine and Brandon have full-time jobs, very demanding. It's not like they go to work in an easy job and then they have energy left to really work hard on their Zazzle business during the night or in the morning before they start their other job. But that's what these two wonderful people have done, and they're our top clients. So the more time you have, you have more time to just kind of expand into that time. Whereas if you're very focused and you know that you only have a certain amount of time, but you still have a goal to reach, you can actually be more effective. And they are true case studies that prove that you can do this in 20 hours a month on the Zazzle platform using our 5 strategies, using our Profit by Design Academy work schedules and strategies for promotion and production of strategy of products and how to promote, everything. Okay, so just want you to know that if it takes a lot longer in other opportunities online, then maybe this is something that would fit better with what you're doing because you still have to go to a full-time day job. But you have to stay committed, that's for sure. But in the meantime, that's really important for you to know that we've worked out the system, and we actually encourage you to only work 20 hours a month. And most people can't do that at the beginning because they don't feel like it's possible. So it's not like it's up to them, but that's all that Christine and Brenna did, and others as well. They don't have time. They have other things that happen, but they still know how to manage their business. And now we have gotten to the point where we are at 4 hours a month on our Zazzle businesses, and we maintain our incomes that we like to have from the Zazzle platform. And all we have to do is work more hours and add more products if we want to up the the monthly income. And that's all that we need to do, because we know how it works, we know what to do, and we know how efficiently to do it, or how to do it efficiently. And so this is the key with the time. If you can't do that with the other platforms that you've either tried or are thinking of trying, then maybe Zazzle's the way to go for this. Okay, and so now I want to move into the, I guess I should sort of round it out. The last thing that I really want to say before I move on to point number 2 in all this podcast is that Zazzle is so unique with its customization. I already mentioned it, but this is the key for not only being able to sell within certain other niches that you couldn't sell on Society6 or Redbubble, and then the key here is the real time. So let's say you have an Etsy store and you're selling wedding invitations or baby showers, whatever, where you have to have the customer proof your work, right? Then that's a lot of back and forth. You sometimes put in limitations, but then they're not happy because they needed another revision or whatever. And so that's a lot of your time that you could be spending creating more products for sale and posting them out into the universe, as I like to call it, the internet universe, so that you have more chances of selling. And in the meantime, you're focusing on this one product with this one person that's going to take up hours and hours of your time because you created it, and you have to keep changing the text and the copy to make it work for the customer, and then there's back and forth, and then you have to print them and you have to send them out. And even if you do a digital version, initially your digital version would also have to have work done on it, right? And then the customer could print it, but in the meantime there's still that interaction, there's still that time. And so the fact that the Zazzle platform is set up in such a way that you create these templates where the person uses your sample text and then fills in their own, and actually in real time sees what it looks like. They can fix and change anything they want right there on this very easy to use Zazzle design tool and editing tool. Then all of a sudden, you're hands off. You did the design once as a template, and whatever time you spent on that, great. But then after that, people from all over the world now, in a month from now, a year from now, 10 years from now, if Zazzle's still working, which, I mean, they've been going on for 14 years, I don't see them slowing down. I think they're actually improving over and over again, even more. And so even 10 years from now, someone can come and find your product, and if it has text templates or photo templates in it, they can exchange those for what they want. And then they can actually go into the edit tool and change everything. And so that's one of the other really amazing benefits, is that you don't even have to have exactly what they want. They can fix it, and they can add to it. They can add graphics. They can add their own text, they can add their own photos, they can upload their own images, they can pay to upload images that are suggested images on the platform, they can add emojis, it's incredible. So, but even though the design may not look even like anything that you set out as the original design, because you attracted them initially, and you got them to click with your design on your product, and then they started using your product as a way to create the one that they want, you get the commission. Okay? And so you get the royalty. And I think that this just opens up so much opportunity, and it means that you don't even have to know exactly what they want, and you're still going to get paid for it. And that, it just is a deal breaker for me, because you can't have that on Etsy, you can't have that on Shopify, you can't have that on Redbubble, Society 6, Amazon merch, none of that. And I find that that is the most rewarding, and like that was the clincher for me. It really is the thing, and you take advantage of that by setting up your products that way, and you are setting yourself up for incredible scalable businesses, an incredibly scalable business online, and I find that so exciting. Okay, so let's move into what it is that you have to ask yourself about whether or not the Zazzle business is right for you, or any of the other businesses that I mentioned that you might be considering as an online business. And I'm going to ask you some questions, and then you write these down, and then you answer them on your own, because you're going to have to do some thinking, because we want you to create a business that's aligned with you, and a business that works for you, and a business that you're happy in, and a business that you want to work in year after year. And also, if things are not working out for you, you still want to go moving forward with it. And so by answering these questions, it's really going to define how you set up your business and what you choose as your business model. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to ask you to do is literally do a brain dump. What do you want? And this can be anything in terms of how the business looks like, what amount of money you want to make, how much time are you going to commit, whatever. I've got another couple of questions like that are more specific, but just brain dump what you feel. And it could be one sentence and that's it, and it's all you know. Another could be you have like all this detail. This is how much I'm going to work, this, whatever. But if it's only like a one-liner, I've got some more questions for you just to help flush it out a bit more, okay? So the next question is, how much time can you consistently devote per week to get started? Okay? And this is really important, because it's not the same amount of time that you're going to use to work on your business later. So that's the next part of this question is, how much time do you want to spend on it later? Okay. So it could be that you end up saying things like, okay, well, I'm going to spend the 20 hours that Elka says I should a month. I said per week, but you can do it per month if you want. And then later, I want to do what Elka said that she's doing, which is 4 hours per month. And if that's your goal, then that's your goal. Awesome. Perfect. And what I really want is just a commitment from you, saying in your mind, as well as writing it out, okay, it's going to take me this much. Do I have that time? Yes, no. The answer is pretty clear. It's not I could try this or maybe not. It's a yes or no. It's very definitive. And if it's a no, then you don't want to do this, right? And so that's the key here, is define it and know that while you're answering these questions, you're literally committing to yourself to a business, or realizing, not for me, right? Okay, and then the next thing is, how fast do you want to achieve your goals? And at this point, I'm assuming the main thing is you want to have an earnings goal, right? But there's so much more behind that. There's the goal of how your business looks. Like that was that first question. What do you want? How do you want your business to look? And so on. And so write down some goals, transitioning from one business to another, or this is how much I want to make by this many years, etc. And that will really help define and sort of solidify what it is that you have in your mind that you've been sort of hoping for, but it's going to create more concrete numbers and timelines for you. And then if you're having trouble with setting your goals, do the ERSD goal setting technique, which I developed. I'm going to put a link in the show notes to it, and you can read that blog post, and then you can set your goals based on the ERSD goal setting technique. I'm not going to go into it here, but it's really powerful, and it will help you to not only set your goals, but to achieve them. All right. And then the next question to ask is, will your business be aligned with what you want? And again, I kind of hinted at that already, but here we're talking about, what is it that you want to do with that money? When do you want to do it? What does your current lifestyle look like? Is it going to be aligned with the transition? Like Brendan gets up at 5:30 every morning for an hour and works before, so that he can get his hour in for the day, and then he ends up with the 5 hours per week, right? So that he gets the 20 hours per month. Or he decides to sleep in, and then instead he maybe does like a whole Saturday and gets all of his hours in all at once. The key though is he's committed, and so and he's aligned it with what he can do now. And he's looking at the business model as a whole to see how it's going to align with what he wants in the future when it's more cash flow and less time put in and it's just running on its own. And so I think that's something that really, like, you're just probably getting used to these concepts, and let that all settle a little bit and then actually just kind of let it resonate, because maybe you'll realize, wow, how is this even possible? Like, is this a dream? Pinch me. Because how is it that I can be making money while I'm sleeping? How is it that I could be having fun with my daughter at my granddaughter's birthday party while I'm getting emails saying I sold this, I sold this, I sold this, and I didn't have to do any of that work, and all the things that I sold I made 3 years ago and they're still selling for me. I have one product that has made me over $100,000. One, like it's. I have the design on multiple different things, but this one product has already made me that much money. And it's just incredible. I look at that and I pinch myself too. I go like, really? And even though I've looked many times, I know it's true, but it's beyond fathomable at this point. So let all this sink in a little bit. And as I said, can't make any income claim statements. Please, you have to understand that. I also didn't know the potential initially, but I want to give you some of these high earners and high values of things that have happened so that you can say, guess what? It's not just what I thought. It's also these people are telling me this is actually truly a thing. It's possible. And then it's up to you to decide if you want to make it possible for yourself, okay? Now, the last thing is, what are you willing to do to create and run your business? This is where we come into the commitment part. Are you going to, commit the time? You're going to commit the energy and have the focus. Are you going to show up for your business? Because you can do the time, you can make the products, but are you really going to show up for your business the way you need to show up for your business in order for it to be successful? Because there's so many people that have made the 100 products a month, for example, because that's what we teach, and they spent the 20 hours a month, and they're not making any sales. But they haven't shown up for their business. They've just done the work. And the work is different, right? The work has to be done, but you might as well do effective, intentional work that's going to get you somewhere rather than just doing the pieces, right? And so are you going to show up and do what it's necessary, and are you willing to create this business? And that means so much more. It means letting go of your artist ego, allowing your people to give you critiques and to tell you, hey, try this or do it this way, which is a lot, right? Like if you're someone who always doesn't like it when people tell them what to do, maybe this isn't for you, because you're going to end up having to find someone to coach you and train you if you want to get to the 5 and 6 figures. Even if all you do is listen to my free content, I'm still telling you what to do, right? And so if you don't like what I say, whether it's free or if it's paid content, then you're not willing to do everything you need to make this business work for you, right? So think about that as well. And then also, do you have the skill sets? And the skill sets come in many forms, right? They come in the form of whatever it is that you need to do to create the products that are going to sell online. That's a designing aspect, that's a production aspect, that's an SEO aspect, that's like promotion and marketing and market research. And it's also tied up in all of that is how to run a company, how to manage a company, how to be an entrepreneur, how to see into the future and prepare now to create future things like possibilities. And so if you're willing to do that, then that's awesome. You're ready to go. And if you're not, or if you are, but you just don't know how, then that's okay, because that's why we're here. That's all we do right now is when we're talking to you here, we're giving you the what you need to do, and then the how is there for you as well. If you want to join into our paid programs and work with us, then we'll just tell you step by step, and we'll coach you and we'll give you feedback and all of that. And so that's the next step. If you have answered those questions, and I'm just going to go over them quickly again. What do you want? How much time do you consistently have to devote per week to getting started? And how much do you want to spend later on when your business is working? How fast do you want to achieve your goals? Do you want help with the goal setting technique that is the ERSD goal setting technique? Then just click the link in the in the show notes, so that you get the blog post that it's written on, all about it, and gives you all the details so you can follow that. Really, basically what I'm asking you there is, do you have your goals set up, and are you willing to do those? And by even setting them up, you're going to define what your business is going to look like, right? And so this is part of it. And then, will your business be aligned with what you want? And what are you willing to do to create and run your own business? And so, as I said, these are huge questions. Once you define them and answer them, you'll know whether it's a yes or no for an online business. And you can also then weigh in whether or not the Zazzle platform is exactly where you want to start your online business, which I think would be fantastic. But obviously, you have to make that decision by yourself. Now, the next steps for you, and I have a few here, because one of them is, as I said, work on your own. The other is to get help. We, at this point, are the one and only, but we're also really very good at what we do, and we have a lot of different programs that work extremely well for people if they do the work and actually implement all the training. Very important, because not everybody does that. They're hanging around, or they bought the course, but they haven't implemented all the training, and so we can't do any more for you than show you what you need to do, but you have to do the work, okay? So if you want our help, there's a couple of options. You can start, if you're not quite sure yet, you just want to get started and see if Zazzle's for you, then we have a great option for you with an online business starter kit, which will give you the basics. And it'll help you get started on the platform, but it won't give you our 5 strategies, which we teach in the Profit by Design Academy. And the 5 strategies are an overall business plan with training and coaching that are going to help you not only set up your business, but literally help you scale to your first 5K month, if that's what you want, right? It's not a guarantee that you're going to get to 5K months in the first year. That's absolutely not what we're saying. I'm saying, like, if you're committed to this business and you want those 5K months, then the Profit by Design Academy is where you need to be, and then you have to do the work, okay? And and then when you get there, that's up to you as well, right? People keep surprising us and doing it quicker, but Brandon and Christine maybe made I think they took until about their second or third year to get a 5K month, but then it snowballed and became 10K pretty quick after that. So it's really important that you understand this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. The other thing that I really strongly suggest, whether you're a beginner and then also with the Profit by Design Academy, you can start from scratch in there. You don't have to know a single thing, and you can be in the Profit by Design Academy. So the differences between the Online Starter Kit and the Profit by Design Academy is that the Online Starter Kit means you're not quite committed yet. But if you're in the Profit by Design Academy, if you choose that, you're committed to making this work, and you're going to give it your best shot, because everything we teach in the Starter Kit is basic and bare bones, and it just touches on some of the things. But in the Profit by Design Academy, there's nothing held back. It's everything that you need with to help you implement these 5 strategies that we used as a way to explain all the things that you need to do to run a business properly. Okay, so both of those links are in the show notes. You can click on each one and get started if you want. The wait list is there for Profit by Design Academy. People who are interested in that, you may, if you're interested but not available yet, or if you realize that we're not taking on new clients until February 2022 in regards to like with the Profit by Design Academy. By being on the wait list, you might get some special discounts or extra training that would not be ever part of a public opportunity. So get yourself on the wait list. Make sure that you're on there so that you can get and take advantage of anything that we might offer on the wait list as a private offer. Okay, then the other thing that I want to talk about is the business management side of things. Now, it's very interesting because in the Profit by Design Academy, we do teach this, but by isolating the management side of it and spending 3 days with you in this perceivable, passive, profitable online event, it changes your perspective. You're not in the deep, step of doing products and posting them and making your store pretty and doing Pinterest and all of that stuff. Instead, you're looking at the overview of what it is that you need to do to run your Zazzle business effectively. And it also is it's got Zazzle as a way to use as an example, but even if you don't end up using the Zazzle platform, this might be very helpful for you to look at it and be part of our 3-day event, because it's all about business management and it's applicable to any business, not just the Zazzle platform, because we're talking about structure, setting it up, creating business processes, as well as your ability to be the business owner and the business worker at the same time, and allowing us to help you with that overall, what is it going to take to get you there to your big goal? And that's an incredible program. Whoever's gone through that goes like, oh my gosh, this is just mind blowing. And for the price, it's very, very minimal in cost, and it's exciting. We don't hold it too often because it is 3 days and it's quite an investment of time. But whoever goes through it is just incredibly blown away, and they really are benefiting so much because then now they really feel confident and clear as to how to manage their business as part of whether it's the Zazzle platform or any other business. So, and all of those links are in the show notes. And so if you are part of the Profit by Design Academy, but you haven't done the Creative Entrepreneur Online, which is what this used to be called, the Perceivable, Passive, Profitable, then you should definitely consider doing this. If you want to do it again, you're more than welcome. It's always different every time. The concepts are the same, but we always up our ante in terms of what we teach and how we teach it, and it always gets better. And then if you're a brand new person but you're not quite sure about Zazzle, then at least take the Online Business Starter Kit and also and join us for the Perceivable, Passive, Profitable 3-day event. It's going to be happening at the end of January 2022. So when you listen to this episode, if you're listening late, then you've missed it. But if you listen to it on the time that it comes out, then you'll know that you can still sign up and be part of it, because it'll be in 2 weeks from when you listen to this podcast, because we're going to release this in the second week of January. Okay, so as a recap, what you're going to do is you're going to check out Zazzle, and you're going to see all those things that I talked about in terms of the benefits of Zazzle that just make it so much better than any other platform out there to help you set up an online business that just is the best. We've done all the work for you. We've looked at all these other platforms. Zazzle really worked for us, and we had all these other stores set up, and I've just let them drop because Zazzle's just such a great income earner for me. If that's going to work for you, awesome. If it doesn't work for you, awesome. We just wanted to make sure that you understood what was available for you to start your online business so that you can be successful in 2022. And then I helped you ask some questions which you have to answer still, and we want to hear those answers, and hear your feelings about it so that you can tell us, like, this was a really great exercise. Thanks for helping me really get clear on what I want for an online business. It makes a difference, really, because you don't have to have your online business be exactly like mine or like anyone else's or Brandon's or Christine's. It can be your business the way you want to set it up. And it's wonderful because Zazzle gives you that opportunity to do so. And then I've given you some next steps, which are either work on your own, And you can, when you work on your own, I'm not leaving you high and dry. I'm just saying you can use my podcast, you can use my YouTube videos, old blog posts. There's a ton of information out there. Plus, you can be in the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur as a Facebook group. It's a free private Facebook group for Zazzle designers, and you can be there where our team watches over that and helps answer questions. But we do not answer store-specific questions and business and management questions and strategy questions, because that's in the Profit by Design Academy. And because it's not because we don't want to tell you. We tell you so much in all our podcasts and our YouTube videos and so on. It's all there. But when you want that specific help, that of us knowing from 14 years of experience, you asking us a question and seeing what's in your store, then we can give you a very tailored, specific answer, which also eliminates all the things you might have tried on your own, which would have taken you a lot more time, and you would have maybe failed a couple of times before you actually got what worked. Whereas when we answer you, sometimes it's within like even a one sentence answer, but it comes with 14 years of experience times 2, because it's Jenna and I, and we can give you so much insight, so much headway, so to help you move through your journey faster, which and also avoid you wasting a lot of time and maybe quitting before you even get a chance to get started. Brandon and Christine. Brandon are perfect examples again, because Brandon worked for 5 years on the Zazzle platform and was about to give up. We were his final last hope. And same with Christine. When she saw that there was a course, she signed up right away, because she said, you know what, I haven't made more than $130 in my 2 years that I've been on Zazzle. I want to learn how to make more. And so, and as soon as she started to know what really needed to be done and get the step-by-step help from our training and then the coaching, all of a sudden she's making $100,000 in 2020, which is only 3 years after she started with us. And I don't know what her earnings this year, so I can't tell you, but she was on track to make $200,000 this year, the last time I asked her in mid-July. So let's see what her final numbers are, and on a future podcast, I'll let you know. And I'm so grateful and thankful that all of these wonderful clients keep sharing their earnings with us as they grow, because that is so inspirational for you, I hope, and also for the testament to our coaching program that people are willing to actually share and say what they're doing, and because they're so grateful for the help that they've received from the coaching, and that they can now have their dream online businesses. So thank you so much for watching or listening, and we'll see you in the next podcast. Take care.